Apologize for the audio. Don't feel like much of a videographer today, so we're going to get what we get on the audio side of the house. But the mission today, 2008 Toyota Land Cruiser. We've got some yellowed headlights. We've run the headlight restoration kits on here a few times. It's been fine. They will clean them up, but it only lasts 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So I went ahead and bought replacements, and there's already some videos on YouTube about, how to replace a headlamp. Some of them are for newer models. There's a couple for these, but they don't really show what it takes to get the bumper off and then some of the trim panels. So I'll try to show that today. I've never done it before. We're going to learn that together. But one of the reasons I'm putting the time into this car, it is my favorite car. I've owned quite a few and still do, I guess. I bought a second one. I like them so much. So this will be cool. This will probably be the first in a series of things that we're going to do to this car to just sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? We'll revamp the car, but we'll also have it protected so that it lasts another 15 or 16 years. So at any rate, it's a beautiful January day here in Texas. Okay, here we go. We're going to go ahead and pop the hood. Ow. Oh boy, look at that. It's been a while since I've opened this. The struts are no longer any good. It won't hold at all. So we'll be replacing these in an upcoming video. But for now, we'll find an errant board to use. Okay, we'll try this again. We got a handy piece of 2x4 since the struts gave out that hold the hood open. It's a lovely addition. Moving on. You can see that when I did the radiator on this thing, I may have lost or broken some of the tabs. So I will have to look at what it's going to take to get replacement tabs for it. I'll just go on Toyota, I guess, and get it. But at any rate, we can see here, we'll probably have to pop these tabs out again, lift this part up, because you can see that there's a bolt under there for the headlight. And then, if I remember, once you get under here and you take these bolts out, then basically the bumper cover just pops off, or kind of clips off. So this will be where we have to start. And then I think there's some underneath, and I'll catch video of that in just a second. Okay, we're going to start on this side, on the passenger side, and we'll go ahead and get this unclipped, but I wanted to show this tool first, right? This is a T30 Star Driver. Now, I hope that's coming out pretty good in the video, but anyway, I call it a Star Driver, but T30 is the size of it. So, the next thing we're going to do is just loosen these up. I'll get my cameraman to get us loaded in there. All right, these are going to go in my pocket for now, but I will put them in a labeled bag. Do you guys ever wonder what these people do that do these huge projects? What they do with all these bolts? For me, it's been bags, right? I film it and I label the bags so I know where everything goes. I don't think this one's going to be full of a bunch of screw locations, but it's always made me curious how other, not just YouTubers, but mechanics, like what system do they use? Anyway, if you have good ideas, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear it. So I think we need to pry this, is it back a little? I have a clip thing I can use here. Well, that certainly does not want to come off. Oh, I I see. Maybe it's pushing in on this flexible wheel well piece. I can see that there's some disconnect there now. Maybe this is why the other people that put it on YouTube, maybe they didn't show this, because this part sucks. There we go. Okay. So Gregory, get in here close. Let's show this. Zoom in on this piece if you can. Or just get close to it. But there is a little, so show right there, like get the camera back in it. All right, if you see right here, that's an indentation in there, right? And so let me see if I can get the camera a little bit better. So let me take over for just a second. If we look right here, right, you can see that there's an indentation. So you can't just pull it straight out, right? I had to peel this guy back a little bit and then push forward on this, and you can see that it popped out. So probably a screwdriver is okay right here, but if you have one of those interior kind of clip removers, you can use that and probably avoid scratching the paint. But anyway, I did it with my hands. You can do that as well. So I'll hand this back to you. Careful. Okay, we got that top one out, bottom one out. Now the one at the very top here is a little bit different. It doesn't have the clip on it. Alright, let me see that real quick. So, if we take a look here, excuse my camera work. Yeah, if you look there, this was like around it, so you had to pop it with the. I just used a screwdriver and kind of popped it out, and then pulled it over. All right, so we got those clips off. You can see there's more clips here, Gregory. I don't know if you can show that, but there's clips that look like that. Okay, so I would say, don't do as I do. I can look, and Gregory might be able to show this, but if I had given just a bit of downward pressure, this would have popped off more cleanly. Luckily, it didn't damage anything, or it was already damaged. Who knows? But either way, no big deal. It's not in bad shape. Okay, now I have a feeling we need to get underneath the car. So we'll pause the video. We'll see what we can do to get in position down there. Okay, so we'll try to show this, and I'll apologize for shaking the camera. I'm on the little GoPro and it's freehand. But I'm trying to show underneath. There's a Phillips head here, a Phillips head here, and then you can see there's a bolt. I'm guessing it's a 10mm since it's a Toyota, and then the same thing on the other side. But I'll try to show what it looks like taking these off. But pretty simple, just loosen them up. Alright, so we will take this first little bolt off. And I definitely will need to get some Ziplocs now. So there's two. I found another bolt missing under my wife's poor car. 2 bolts on this one. I mean, we're just holding on for dear life here. And you wonder, like, I didn't do this. What, who did it? I just want to know where the bolts went. At any rate, okay, those are out. I've got to get a different tool. Okay, so now we're underneath. We got the 2 bolts off to the right there. So this is a 10mm right here. So common on the Toyota. Well, this drill sucks. I think the battery's dead. This thing is on there. Okay. Well, we'll have to go the old-fashioned way. Okay. So we found an impact driver. We're all going to laugh together. This is never going to work.
That's scary.
In my mouth. Worked like a champ. It was so stupid.
Let's choke on this thing.
Okay, let's do this one. Okay, I'm gonna bag these bolts. All right, so we got the bolts off of the bottom, and now we need to come in and pop these little clips off. And you can see where I broke that one when I was doing the radiator. But this one there's like nothing left of it. But anyway, that's all you got to do for this is just pop it out. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, so that one's out. And then I don't know what kind of clip this guy is, so I'm just gonna do this. Or does it just come out in one piece? Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Ah.
No, that doesn't feel like it wants to come out. What are we doing wrong here? I probably just need to replace all of these at this point. Looks like it's just a lift out tab. Okay, that's one way to do it. So let me put this one in my bag. All right, so what I did here is it ended up, the little fastener is still in there, and it looks like it's just like it's barbed, and it should have come out, but it didn't. So I don't know. Can you see that right there? Anyway, even if it's ruined, it's not a big deal. I'm sure it's a 20-cent part that the dealership will sell me for 20 bucks, but we'll finish getting this top little balance cover off, and then you can see right here. Here's the mount we were looking for. Look at this. It is hand tight loose. Who did this? Certainly wouldn't be something I would have touched. Okay, but we'll show that here in just a second. All right, so we're going to finish just removing this top little valance, whatever you call it. I mean, this is going great. I popped the tab here. It should be able to loosen up. Hopefully it'll loosen before I pull it. And we've got another one here. This doesn't even look like it belongs here. I don't want to break all of these. That was good. Okay, well, that's one way to get it out. Okay, that one actually came out halfway decent. All right, and I don't know, maybe when these clips get older, do they just get harder to do? Or am I just too impatient? Okay, so that's another one that just totally lifts out. And we should be able to pop it out from there. There's probably a different tool that's more appropriate for this, and I just don't own it. But if anybody knows the name of that tool to remove these things, please put it in the link below, or put a link below. All right, last one, this should be the last one. So we can get these out of here. Okay, looks like we have all of the fasteners out. So in this case, we are just going to remove this piece, and I will set it off to the side. Okay, the next thing we need to do is come in here. We're going to get this grill off, and it looks like we have 1, 2, 3 screws. Although I'm sure there's another one, or maybe just it's popped in somewhere else, but we'll find it. I have a feeling there's got to be a clip down there too. All right, now for the grill, like we said, we'll take these. They look like 10 millimeters. They are. Okay, so if you'll focus here, you can see that this is just a little rubber grommet thing, and it plugs into this little piece of rubber trim, but it didn't hurt it to pull it back a little. And so over here, I can see probably got a similar thing going on, but oh yeah, look, Gregory, put the camera right there. There's a little clip here, and that pops in, and so I have a feeling there's another one there at the bottom. It looks like it's several clips. All right, so now I think that this thing is just going to pop off. So you can see there's, and I do remember taking this off when we did it right here. Something else holding it on. Maybe if we do this, we'll get a little more visually, we'll get an idea. Okay, that has to come off first. All right, so by doing that, I could see that. So what I've not done a great job of showing is it looks like there's these little tabs that hold it in. Maybe I can just push it back and it'll come out. Or looks like there's some fastener clips that I could possibly undo as well. And that may be the route I have to take. Okay, got one clip undone. Yep, there we have it. So let me see this for a second. So just a little bit of self-learning there. See that little tab down there? That's just another one of these little pop-up fasteners. And I think that's going to be the easiest way to get this thing off. Okay, so I got the first one out. You can see the style fastener it is. Came out really easy. Probably should have done that from the start. But we're all learning. All right, so there's another one. And it looks like it's just 3 of them, so Should be pretty quick. Alright, there's number 3. Oh, I think that might actually be part of the bumper cover as well. Those 3 bolts we just took off. Yeah, so we might not even have to remove the grill. So we've got the bolts off on the bottom. You can keep rolling. Remove the fasteners there on the top. Ah, looks like maybe we missed another one down below. Okay, I found it. So I'm back under here where I initially took off this Phillips head and this other Phillips head. And if we look under this piece, we can see that there's another 10mm bolt. So it's going to be a little difficult for me to film it, but I'll go ahead and remove that. It looks like the last thing holding it up. And so again, this is just that plastic cover that covers up the tow hook. So we'll do that and we'll remove it. All right, cool. Got that last bolt out of there. And now it looks like we just, okay, put that on the clip. Okay, cool. So Gregory, bring your camera over here. We're going to remove this bolt. Looks like a 10mm. Where is it? This one? No, it's this one. Okay, it's this one. I think. Yep, it is. So we'll remove that one, and then bring your camera. We'll remove this one, and then back up. Let me see. There may be another one over here. Yeah, there is, but it has no bolt in it. Something tells me this vehicle may have been repaired in the past. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go bolt shopping. All right. All right, so we'll pull this 10mm here. Pull this 10mm. I think it was like hand tight. Okay, cool. Got those screws put away. So now, and I haven't disconnected them yet. I just wanted to see if everything was good. It looks like it is. So the next thing we'll do is we will remove these headlight bulbs, which is really simple. Oh wow, these look like they need to be replaced. Can you get your camera up there and take a look? Yeah, that camera, that light does not look good. So maybe we'll do a little LED swap while we're doing this. All right, here's the other bulb, and it looks like it's in okay condition. All right, let's move this thing out. Oh, I didn't unplug the side marker. Okay, that'll help. And then is there one more plugged in? Looks like there is. I'm guessing that's a signal light. You got the camera on?
Yeah.
Okay. When we look over here, there is plugged in, and it's like mounted to the plastic. I'm gonna pull this. Maybe. I don't know how to get it off this little housing. Okay, one more signal bulb. Now this is very interesting. I'll turn it so we can see it. I see it. So Gregory, if you can zoom in on this part, we can see it. I'm just going to grab my little flathead. Looks like I'll just have to pin that back. Okay. not look like something I want to break. Okay, that's it. So all we had to do was pop this little silver tab up just a little. Came right off. Now, one of the things I'll say about this headlight housing, it's a big dude. We're going to hold on to it. There's nothing wrong with it other than it being cloudy. So we'll keep it, but we just never know what parts we might need or what didn't come with the new headlights. So that'll be our next move. Let's get a new headlight. Let's take a look and evaluate it. So if you look, there's a bit of a difference. Yeah, if we look at the, the lenses, that is crazy. All right, so we got this first one out, and we'll just see if we can put it back in there. So we'll start here. You might want to get a chair so you can look down, bud. So if we're going in reverse order here, got to slip this guy back on. He went right there. And then we've got another one that clips on right there. You see this bulb goes down here. And then where did this one go? Alright, that one's locked in. This one goes here, locked in.
Whoopsie.
Okay, we'll lock our headlight back in. Now listen, if we want to change the bulb later, this doesn't have to be removed, right? So that's super easy. I'm going to wait to plug that one back in because I think it's too much of a stretch to put it in where it is now. So what you want to do is line this thing up. There is this little guide or clip or whatever in the back. Remember, this one is going to go here. So we do have to orient it in the correct position. And then it just slides in. And you can see there's all of our bolts lined up. That one's lined up. So everything looks right. So now I'm going to grab some bolts. Okay, cool. So, like I said in this one, I feel like this vehicle may have been repaired in the past. It was actually missing a bolt. So we're going to do the best with what we have, but I'm going to get on, well, like Toyota parts deal or whatever it is, and I've got to order some screws and some fasteners and some screws. And yeah, we'll be fine. But crazy to me, I did not realize, I guess that it was missing this many screws. So I'm trying to think if we're missing one. This one was not connected in the past. But if we look at the triangulation, 1, 2, 3, 1. Maybe we should do this side one, 2, 3. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, there may be differences in these screws. So let's take a look. Those are the same. That one is slightly different. So I'll assume the one that is slightly different goes over here. I am correct. So maybe that's going to determine where these other ones go. So one here, and I feel like the other one should go here. All right. Now we get these things tightened down. Now we'll turn this thing up because this is the weakest drill in America. I'll probably come back and check that by hand, but it feels pretty good for now. That one's in there good. That one's in there good. All right, so we've got a really solid feel, so I think we're okay here. I'll set this down for just a second. And if your headlight looks like this, just go ahead and replace it. We'll run to the auto parts store here in a minute. We'll grab some new bulbs. But we'll go ahead and lock that one back in. All right, you can see the low beams are on. Let's do high beams. Do they come on?
Yep.
Okay, let's do blinker. Oh wait, the key's not on. Can't do blinker. All right, so here we go on the passenger side. So there's one screw. These are pretty simple, and look, this piece is so flexible. There's no reason to try to like undo that. Just lift it up. Okay, so we'll pull that one off. So same thing here. Just peel back the bumper cover a little bit. And this screw is different. This one on the side is different than the others. So just remember that as you go to put it back. Probably should have put the extension on here, but should be fine. All right, we got our bolts out. So this one is a little harder to get out, and you know what's funny, on that side it came right out, and I understood from watching other videos that this may be like a little, you know, like a little pin, like a fastener. So it's going to come out. There you have it. So if you look right there, that piece, don't know why it didn't fasten on the other side, but anyway, no big deal. So we will pull these headlights out now. Maybe. There we go. Oh, that one's brown too. Wonder when the last time I swapped those was. I wonder, you know, like, these took a long time to turn yellow, and Toyota's pretty notorious for that. I'll fix that grommet in a minute. But I wonder if it's worth it for aftermarket headlights. But if you go that route, it really makes me curious, like, how long does the clear last on those? You know, do they come apart in the same way? This guy, I'm going to make it easier for me to see and get to this clip. And then it just slides right off once you know what you're doing. So there we have it. We'll put this off to the side. Okay, so we've got this new one. We'll just try to get these lights out of the way while we get these in. Maybe. So if we recall, the orientation was pretty important for the other one to put in. So we'll do that. Everything appears to be in place. I'm going to grab some bolts. All right, so bolts in hand. The one that looks different goes in the side. Bless you, cameraman. these started, we'll finish them off with the drill. All right, get these things back in there. Keep going. Get this one tightened back down. Cool, good and tight. Okay, cool. So all is done. Really just got those bottom screws back on, and then we just did the reverse. I haven't put these bolts back on, but I'll do that in just a second. The only thing I'll say is when you're doing these bottom bolts, just pay attention that the fender well versus the bumper cover versus the little covers for the recovery points, they're all supposed to be sandwiched in a particular way. There was no good way for me to film that, but you should see when you're taking it apart, it just goes back the same way. So not all that complicated, just something to keep in mind. What an amazing difference, and we'll show the finished product here in just a second. Okay, cool. Out of our labeled bag, we're going to grab 3 bolts. And these are for the fender well, and these, of course, are the star drivers, and I'll need to get a star driver. And hopefully I didn't turn the wheel too much to where I can't put these back in. Might. Yeah, I think it'll work. Okay. Pretty good. Okay, and just doing the same thing on the driver's side. We'll get these put back in, and then I think the next step after that will be to put the little balance cover back under the hood. And we'll put this little cover back in place. Should be pretty simple. Line up these little holes, and listen, this is definitely something that I have to get new bolts for. Because they got quite the hodgepodge going on, so I'll have to hit Toyota parts bin and see what I can do. Well, basically every one of these is jacked up in its own little way, so we'll just try to put it together in a way that makes sense. I'm right in the middle of something. Can you give me a minute? Oh, that was the one we couldn't get out. Well, turns out if there's anything about this that I hate, it's these little fasteners. This is the dumbest shit I have ever seen. we just got the last couple of these to go. Yes, definitely time for all new fasteners. All right, we've got this all finished. Gregory, back up and give it a little wide shot of this car. Want to thank my cameraman. He has been an absolute sport today. Couldn't have done it without him. Gregory, you're awesome. But this looks a lot better. Let's leave this thing running. Let's see what it looks like. Close the hood.
Wow.
So, if we weren't filming, I'd say that this is about an hour and a half job. But given that we were constantly moving the camera around, took us out to what, 2.5 hours?
Probably.
But anyway, world of difference. Looks like a new car, ish. But at 15 years old, 16 years old, can't complain. Really can't complain.